devotees, welcome to a very special program, Mahaprabhu's Leelas, Pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As you all know, March 17th is Gaur Purnima, so we are having this pre-celebration program where devotees will present pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Today we have two wonderful devotees going first. Prashanth Prabhu and Meena Mataji will be presenting the pastime. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Over to you.
Thank you, Mataji. Share. Hare Krishna devotees, thank you for this opportunity. We will start with just quick prayers. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamne Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Mataji Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshtavan. And then we will also read the Sri Gauranga Pranam Mantra, which Satsar Prabhuji taught us in the sessions. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Trishe Namaha. Then we'll hand it off.
Hare Krishna devotees, will get started with the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya appeared in the town of Nadia, Navadvip, Mayapur, West Bengal. After sunset on the evening of February 18, 1486, it was the Palguna month in year 1407 of Shaka era on Purnima. He was born to father Jagannatha Mishra and mother Sachi Devi. He was the 10th child for both of them. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura says his grandfather Pandit Nilambar Chakravarti, a renowned astrologer, foretold that the child would be a great personage in time. He therefore gave him the name Vishwambar. The ladies of the neighborhood styled him Gaura Hari on account of his golden complexion. His mother called him Nimai on account of the neem tree near which he was born. Next, we will see how did the Lord come. The devotees of Navadvipa would gather at the house of Advaita Acharya and sing the holy names of Lord Krishna. But Advaita Acharya felt pain to see the world without Krishna consciousness and engaged in material sense gratification. So he prayed to the Lord to descend to earth to deliver fallen souls. Lord Krishna came in the mood of Radharani as a devotee to show and teach everyone how to perform devotional service to the Lord. He came to establish the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga, which is to chant the holy names. As it was full moon evening in the month of Falguna, there was a lunar eclipse and everyone was chanting Hari Hari when the Lord appeared. As a baby, the Lord would constantly cry and would only stop upon hearing the holy names of Krishna and Hari. As soon as he heard the names of Krishna, he would break out into a big smile. Seeing this, all the residents would always come to visit little Nimai and sing and chant the names of Lord Hari and Lord Krishna in his presence. When he appeared, the Lord showed his parents the marks of Vishnu on his lotus feet, the flag, thunderbolt, conch shell, Sudarshan disc, and fish. When he would walk, these marks would appear on the floor. His grandfather, Nilambara Chakravarti, who predicted that child had all the 32 bodily symptoms of a great personality and that he would powerfully preach the Vaishnava cult and deliver living beings in all the three worlds. Here are some pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. As a baby, little Nimai was profusely decorated in many opulent ornaments. Once, when he was playing outside, two thieves passing him on the street saw him and decided to kidnap him. They offered him some sweets and carried him away on their shoulders. But the Lord explained his illusory powers to trick the thieves. Every time they would walk away, they would end up back in front of his house. After a few times, they became perplexed and afraid and ran away when they saw the residents searching for baby Nimai. Baby Nimai would often eat clay instead of the sweet meat that Mother Sachi would give him. When his mother asked, the Lord would reply that sweet meat was nothing but clay transformed, so he could eat clay as well. Mother Sachi replied that while dirt in the form of a clay pot could be used to fetch water, it would be useless to pour water on a lump of clay. Similarly, even though these sweets were also transformed clay, that they were only edible in that form and not as raw clay. The Lord utilized this analogy to disprove the Mayavada philosophy of oneness and to reveal the Achintya Veda Abheda Tattva philosophy that teaches the simultaneous oneness and distinction of everything. One day, when baby Nimai was crawling in his courtyard, a snake slithered towards him. The Lord caught hold of the snake, and the snake coiled. Then the Lord lied down on the snake's back, resting. When the residents saw this, they screamed, but the Lord was very relaxed and continued resting. When the residents came to make commotion, the snake slithered away. Nimai tried to grab the snake again, but he was quickly picked up the residents. The snake was actually Lord Anantasesha coming to enact his pastime with his Lord and serve him. So this is the place where Lord Chaitanya was born. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura spent countless years searching for the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. He then built a temple at this site. There is a neem tree in the courtyard where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born.
Now we will look at some of the verses that foretell Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So there's, and Satyasai Prabhuji mentioned a lot of these verses in the 2 sessions that we had. I thought we could go through them again. So this is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, verse 32. Krishna Varanam Tvishra Krishnam Sango Pangastra Prasadam Yagniha Sankirtana Prair Yajantihi Sumedasha. So in this verse, it says, in the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the holy name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So this verse clearly tells from Srimad Bhagavatam that Lord Chaitanya will appear in the age of Kali. The next one is in Garuda Purana. It's Aham Purno Bhavishyami Yuga Sandayu Vishesataha Maya Pure Navadvipe Bhavishyami Sachisata. In the first part of Kali Yuga, I will appear in my complete spiritual form in Mayapur, Navadvip, and become the son of Sachi, which is what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. So next is in Narasimha Purana. So it says, Gauranga Priya Kirtanaha Kali Yuge Chaitanya Nama Prabhu. The Supreme Lord, and this is just the last part of this verse. So the Supreme Lord will be the Lord by name Chaitanya in the Kali Yuga. He will have a golden form and he will take pleasure in chanting the Lord's holy names, and he will be the son of such. So the next is in Padma Purana. It says, Kale Pratama Sandhyayam Gauranga Gautam Mahitale Bhagirati Tate Ramye Bhavishyami Sachisutha. I shall take birth as the son of Sachi, assuming a golden form in the beautiful place on the bank of the Bhagirati, Ganges, on earth in the first part of Kali Yuga. So there's 2 more. One is, so in Narada Purana, it says, Aham eva kalau vipra nityam prachana vigraha Bhagavat Bhakta Rupena Lokam Rakshami Sarvada. And that means, and that translates to, O Brahmana, I will, and this is in when Narada comes to visit Lord Krishna, he tells Lord Narada this, O Brahmana, I will deliver all the worlds, concealing myself in the form of a devotee of the Lord in Kali Yuga. And then he says, Dvija Bhuvi Jayadvam Jayadvam Bhakta Rupinaha Kalau Sankirtanarambe Bhavishyami Sachista. O demigods, please advent on the earth as devotees in Kali Yuga. To inaugurate the Sankirtana, I will incarnate as the son of Sachi. So again, he says he will come to propagate the Sankirtan movement and in the age of Kali. And then in Vayu Purana it says, Paurnamasyam Palgunasya Palguni Riksha Yogataha Bhavishye Gaura Rupena Sachi Grabe Purandara Sarvan Swaranadi Tiram Ashtaya Navadipe Janashraya Tatra Dvije Kulam Prapto Bhavishyami Chanalye. On the full moon of the month of Phalguna, conjoined with the star Phalguni, I will appear in the golden form begotten by Purandara in the womb of Sachi. I will appear in a Brahmana family in Navadvipa by the shore of the Ganges. And the last one, or actually one more, Matsya Purana, Mundo Gruha Su Drihangas Tristrotras Tira Sambhavaha Dayalu Kirtana Grahi Bhavishyami Kalau Yuge. In the age of Kali, I will be golden color, I will be tall, I will have a shaven head. The place I will take birth will be a meeting point of the three rivers. I will be very merciful, I will cleanly engage in the chanting of the holy name. And the last one is in Skanda Purana. It says, Ananta Krishnaha Bahir Gauraha Sango Pangastra Parshadaha Sachi Grabe Samapunya Maya Manaso Karmakrit. Inwardly Krishna, but outwardly of golden form. I will be accompanied by my associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Taking my birth in the womb of Sachi, I will accept the role of a human being. So those are all the different in all the different Puranas in which the appearance of the Lord is foretold. So with that, devotees, thank you for the opportunity. We apologize if I made any mistakes or made any misstatements. Please forgive us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji. That was really very beautiful. So nicely you gave evidences from Shastras of appearance of Mahaprabhu. So that was really good. And also so nicely you covered the birth, why Mahaprabhu appeared, and some beautiful pastimes, childhood pastimes. So that was very wonderful. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. We will move on to the next session. The next is our very wonderful Guruvani Mataji. Mataji will be presenting the pastime. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, devotees. Thank you, Satsara Prabhu, Jai Subhadra Mataji, for this opportunity to glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm going to just share my screen. So I'll just start with the prayers. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So this pastime that I'm going to talk about is how Ramachandra Puri's interactions, how he criticizes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Leela, chapter 8. And these are the first few verses which glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I'll just chant those and then we'll go into the pastime. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Karuna Sindhu Avatara Brahma Shivadya Ke Bhaje Charanaya Nara Jaya Jaya Vaduta Chandra Nityananda Jagat Bandilayena Diya Prema Panda Jaya Jaya Dvaita Ishvara Avatara Krishna Avatari Kaila Jagat Nistara Jaya Jaya Shri Vasadi Yata Bhakta Gana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Yandra Pranadhana. So this pastime starts with just knowing a little bit about the background of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is actually the shloka which glorifies the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where the whole pastime and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in relation to this pastime. Tam Vande Krishna Chaitanyam Ramachandra Puri Bhayat Laukika Haratha Swamyo Bhikshannam Samokochayat. Let me offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who reduced his eating due to the fear of criticism of Ramachandra Puri. So we see our disciplic succession here. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you can see in the succession, is the disciple of Ishvara Puri, who is the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And when we track back, it goes up to Madhva Muni. So that is why it is called as Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Madhavendra Puri, like here we see, is the guru of Ishvara Puri. And Madhavendra Puri also had another disciple, Ramachandra Puri. So here in the picture we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu receiving initiation from Ishvara Puri. And in the top picture, Ishvara Puri serving Madhavendra Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru Ishvara Puri was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And there was another disciple named Ramachandra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri, when he was on his deathbed, he was expressing his pure love for Krishna in the mood of separation, in Vipralambha Bhav. That is actually the highest form of love of Krishna. And Madhavendra Puri was the first person. He was actually the seed of the Vipralambha Bhav, expressing this kind of separation, mood of separation from Krishna, which is the most strongest and most dense love for Krishna. So in his separation from Krishna at the time of death, Madhavendra Puri was saying, "Oh Krishna, oh King of Mathura, why are you leaving me? When am I going to reach your abode?" So he was crying like that in the mood of separation. Then Ramachandra Puri came, and when he saw Madhavendra Puri, that is his guru actually, Ramachandra Puri started instructing his own guru. The reason why he was doing that was because he was associating with Mayavadis. And because of his association with Mayavadis and dry philosophers, he did not get love for Krishna. In fact, he got speculative knowledge. So because of that contamination, he was instructing his own guru. He was saying, "Oh, you're filled with transcendental bliss. You're actually Brahman. So at this time of death, why are you not focusing your mind on Brahman? You should think about Brahman." So when Madhavendra Puri heard this, he was very upset and he wanted to, he said, "You get away from from in front of me, you get away out of here, because if I pass away looking at you, then I won't get my destination. And I'm here suffering in separation of Krishna, and you're coming and trying to tell me about Brahman." In fact, he was not really suffering. This is the extreme love in separation of Krishna. So in this way, Madhavendra Puri, he rejected Ramachandrapuri. And Ramachandrapuri also, he rejected his own guru, and he started associating more with Mayavad philosophers. Whereas Ishwarapuri, the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was serving Madhavendra Puri very closely. He was even cleaning him in his last days, and he was always chanting the pastimes of Krishna. In this way, he got such favor from his guru and blessings from his guru that he became the guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who became the big tree or Mahavriksha from the seed planted by Madhavendra Puri of the love of Godhead. He propagated this love of Godhead in the form of a big tree, like a big tree. So that was the blessing Ishwarapuri got. Whereas Ramachandra Puri, because he rejected his guru, he got attracted by material desires, and he started even falling further down. So this pastime happens when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Antya Leela, when he was in Jagannath Puri, he was dining at different devotees' houses every day. Just like when some Maharajas come and we invite them to our homes to serve them, like that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was invited by so many people, and he would go, and his main purpose was serving, giving love to the devotees and giving satisfaction to the devotees and pleasure to the devotees. So he would go and honor the prasadam given by all the devotees very nicely. Whereas Ramachandra Puri, he would instigate devotees to eat. Like, for example, when he visited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Paramananda Puri, who was also god brother of Ishwara Puri, or Ramachandra Puri's god brother, when he visited them, Jagadananda Pandita, who is the associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he served them prasadam. And Ramachandra Puri ate sumptuously lot of prasadam. Then after that, he would serve Jagadananda Pandita also prasadam. And he would say, eat more, take more. And he would instigate them to eat more. And once they ate more, he would say, oh, I heard that followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always eat a lot of prasadam. Now I am seeing with my own eyes. So sannyasis should not be indulging in sense gratification like this. Like that, he would criticize them. And he would also try to find fault with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, he is faultless. So he could not find any fault with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he started observing how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eating, how he's going to every devotee's house and eating. So he would criticize that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was eating a lot of sweets. Sannyasi should not be eating sweets. This is not a proper etiquette for sannyasi. It will cause sense gratification, like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was hearing all the, he knew that Ramachandra Puri was criticizing him, but yet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whenever he saw Ramachandra Puri, he would show him a lot of respect and he would treat him like his own guru. Then once Ramachandra Puri came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ashram, and he said, oh, look, I see ants on the floor. That means you've been having sweets. So this is what you are doing as a sannyasi, eating sweets all the time. That's how he would criticize. Though ants are a common thing in India to find on the floor, so he would take this as an opportunity to criticize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though he knew this was not true, he would be obedient because he was giving the respect as a guru. And he instructed his associates, Govinda, and others, that from now on he will eat only 1/4 of a pot of Jagannath Prasadam. And Jagannath Prasadam pot is very small. It's very small, and in that, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were to eat 1/4, and he had to even leave a little bit of prasadam for his associates like Govinda. So he was eating very little, and he would tell the Govinda and Kashishwara Pandit, the associates, that if this is not enough for you, the remnants from my prasadam are not enough for you, you can go beg your own alms or make your own arrangement for prasadam. Like that he would tell them. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would eat only very less. Then Ramachandra Puri would quote the verses from Bhagavad Gita from 6th chapter, where Krishna says that, oh dear Arjuna, one cannot perform mystic yoga if he eats more than necessary or needlessly fasts, sleeps and dreams too much, or does not sleep enough. One should eat and enjoy his senses as much as necessary, and one should properly endeavor to execute his duties. One should regulate his sleep and wakefulness. Thus, one can become freed from material pains by executing mystic yoga. So he would quote this verse and say, oh, now you're not eating enough. So you're showing off by eating very less, and thus you're breaking this principle. Like that he would criticize. So he would always find some fault with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even reduced his eating even more. And so seeing this, all the devotees were very unhappy because they wanted to come, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come and take service for them and give pleasure to them, but he was only eating very little. So the devotees came and they started convincing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Paramananda Puri, who is also a god brother of Ramananda Puri, he started telling Chaitanya, he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that this Ramachandra Puri is, his mentality is like that. He criticizes and he uses this verse in Bhagavatam which says that Parasvabhava karmani na prasamshena na garbhayet vishvam mekatmakam pashyan prakritya purushena cha, that one should see that because of meeting with the material nature and the living entity, the universe is acting uniformly. Thus, one should neither praise nor criticize characteristics or activities of others. So this principle of one should neither praise nor criticize, in that part, in that instruction, Ramachandra Puri takes the instruction of not praising others as the main. But this instruction was given, this is called as Shleshokti, where actually not criticizing is the main part of the instruction, but Ramachandra Puri takes the other part of the instruction and he criticizes others. So they started convincing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like that. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not, he would say, no, he's telling the truth. A sannyasi should only eat what is enough to keep mind and body together, I mean soul and body together. So he's telling the truth, so I will follow that only, like that he would say. But when certain devotees like Gadadhara Pandita, Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, Bhagavan Acharya, when they invited him, he would honor completely, because his main purpose was pleasing the devotees. So in this way, Lord acted as Swarat. He acted independently, and also he acted as a servant of his spiritual master's brother or his guru, who he regarded as guru. So after a while, Ramachandra Puri left that area, and again all the devotees were very happy, again receiving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for feast. So in this, the essence is given that Guru upeksha kaile aiche falahaya krame ishvara paryanta aparade the kaya. So if one spiritual master rejects him, one becomes so fallen that he, like Ramachandra Puri, commits offenses even to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we have heard about the offenses before also. And hearing this pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very pleasing to the ear and mind. And I'll quickly tell the lessons learned from this pastime, that Vaishnava Prad is like a Hati Mata, or like an elephant trampling the creeper of bhakti. And one should show respect to even the god brothers of the spiritual masters, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed. Even though sometimes their way of preaching or their way of conveying the message is different, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's example, we should take and show respect to all the God brothers of spiritual master. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed that by example. And he says, Gora Rami, Mukhe Bali Lena Hi Chale, Gora Rachara, Gorara, Vichara Laile, Fale. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, just to repeat, I belong to Gaura is not itself sufficient. One has to follow the practice and teachings given by Gaura if one wishes to achieve the promised results. So this is the lessons we can learn from this pastime. Thank you very much. Sorry, I went a few minutes over time. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, that was so beautiful. The pastime you shared of Mahaprabhu was just so wonderful, and the way you were singing all the verses also very nice. Thank you very much, Mataji. With that, devotees, we conclude our program today. We will have tomorrow as well, and but there is a change tomorrow. It's going to be at 5:30, and we have 4 devotees who will be presenting, so it's going to be 5:30 to 6:30. So request all of you all to join tomorrow and make the day blissful. With that, we end the program here. Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees.
Hare Krishna, Guruvani Mataji. It was nice presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Prashanth Prabhu. Meena Mataji. Meena Mataji, I'm very impressed.
Thank you, Prabhu.
You said very beautifully. Wonderful, wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.